How do you store profiteroles? Can they be left at room temperature and for how long? Can I freeze them to use later? In this video we share some tips on how to store profiteroles to prevent them from spoiling too quickly. Tips for storing profiteroles. It is important to point out that profiteroles are tastiest on the day they are prepared. Cream-filled profiteroles must be stored in the refrigerator in an airtight container for, at most, 2 to 3 days. Never leave them at room temperature, as the cream spoils very quickly. In the case of chocolate profiteroles without cream, they can be kept at room temperature in an airtight container overnight, or in the refrigerator for the same time specified for the cream. It is important to remember that this tip is for cases where you prepare the profiteroles yourself. If they are store-bought, eat them within 24 hours, as there is no way to know how long ago they were prepared. The empty profiterole pastry shell can be kept at room temperature in a dry, dark and cool place. It lasts about 2 days at room temperature. But you can extend the shelf life by placing it in an airtight container in the refrigerator. The plain pastry will last about 7 days without going bad. It is important to remember that the pastry tastes best if kept at room temperature. But if you want to make them in advance, storing them in the refrigerator might be the best alternative. The chocolate sauce for the profiteroles can be prepared and stored in the refrigerator in an airtight container. It will last about 5 days without spoiling. To use, heat it in the microwave for 15 seconds, stir, heat it a little more and keep checking if it has reached the desired consistency. Can I freeze profiteroles? Profiteroles that are not filled can be frozen to preserve them for a longer time. To freeze, let the pastry cool, place them on a baking sheet with parchment paper, and put them in the freezer to freeze for a few hours. Then transfer them to an airtight container and return them to the freezer. The unfilled profiteroles will last about 3 months in the freezer without spoiling. When you are ready to use them, place the profiteroles in the refrigerator overnight. This way they will thaw slowly, not affecting the texture as much. Afterward, just put them in a preheated oven at 180 degrees Celsius for a few minutes, and they will become crispy again. Let them cool to room temperature before filling. How to know if the profiterole has spoiled? Usually when a profiterole spoils, it gets a sour smell or the cream smells spoiled. Always pay attention to the appearance and aroma. If you think the profiterole pastry looks strange with spots, do not risk eating it. Be especially careful with mold. Do not remove it to eat the rest, it can be dangerous to your health.